Probably not, actually.
Hello, welcome to Ask AJ. I've literally just said to Isaac, are we on the right page? And he goes, don't know. So he's just checking now.
You are.
Yes, thank goodness for that. Because we're on a few pages here. I'm here with Edward.
Hi.
Phil is off in the Dales, where we're opening our second office. It's very exciting. And by the way, if you know somebody in the Dales that would benefit from Phil going around and giving them a valuation, or even just chatting to them about who they know in the area, or you know anybody of any note in the Dales, we would love some ins there, some nice introductions.
That's cool.
We don't know anybody.
Well, we know Lauren.
We know Lauren, that's it. Who's our new
Lovely
lady
Lauren.
there. But nobody knows us either, so we need to get ourselves
Get the word out there.
Get networking. That's what I think we should be doing. So we're going to talk about something that is potentially something you haven't thought about, which is when you ask an agent to value your home, are you truly keeping an open mind? Now, I'm going to contradict myself here because I have just talked to a lovely man who I know well, and I've said, and he's asked me to come and value his house. And I said, have you got any idea, ballpark, what you think it's worth? And he told me. Now, whether I want to or not, that could unconsciously bias me, because when I go out and see it, I haven't got an open mind anymore. And he hasn't got an open mind anymore. So actually, between the two of us, we're probably each other's own worst enemy. I went to see a house with Phil a few weeks ago, and we valued it at 4 million, not knowing at all what they thought. And they said afterwards that they thought it was only worth 2.5 million. Now, they had 2.5 million in their head.
Yeah, so they're fixated on 2.5.
So they were fixated on 2.5, but they didn't share that with us. And if they had, we might have been less confident about 4 million. It's quite hard to put that out of your mind. And we used to find this when we first opened Ashdown Jones. Sorry, I've got my notifications on. When we first opened Ashdown Jones, if the house has already been on the market, it was quite hard to discount that from your head and then start with a fresh valuation.
Yeah, because obviously the market's completely changed since then. So you can't
It's changed in the last
on,
6 months.
on an old figure.
No.
Even if back then they weren't getting a lot of interest, or they got a lot of interest, it's completely different now.
It is. And actually,
you're
a
right.
friend of mine's asked me to value her house. And I think she's had an undervaluation for her house. But now I know what that other undervaluation is. And then it's making me doubt my higher valuation. So the challenge we've got here is we only sell unique homes. And if you only sell out unique homes, who actually knows what the value of that home is? And agents always say, a home's only worth what somebody's prepared to pay for it. I would argue that, because actually we've achieved values that are way beyond what a buyer probably thought they were going to spend.
Or what a seller thought they were going to get.
Or what a seller thought they were going to get.
It's happened a lot.
It has. We sold that house in Coniston for 3 million. On paper, might have only been worth 2.5. But in a rising market with far more demand than supply, who's to say what it's actually worth?
Definitely.
It's you know, the market's climbing.
So there's no point having a fixed price in your head of what you thought it was worth.
Because I think, so if you can try and discount that from your mind and keep an open, and this could go either way, couldn't it?
Yeah.
Because you might be hoping for a higher figure, and this happened to us actually just the other day, where we went out to see a beautiful flat with a lake view, and we said the value, and the lady was disappointed. So it can go both ways. But she was only disappointed because she had the higher figure in her head. So I suppose that's my argument, really. Unless you bought it in the last 3 years, whatever you paid for it is probably relevant. What you've spent on it is probably relevant. So let's just take a blank slate as of today and say, right, if you haven't had a valuation in the last 6 to 12 months, let's come and give you a fresh valuation, but try and keep an open mind.
No, I agree. I think it's important, especially given how much the market has changed in such a short space of time.
It's crazy, isn't it? How long have you been here
we
now?
have had a house recently, haven't we, that's going to come on, and they only bought it 2 years ago, and they're shocked by what it's now valued at.
Yes. Yeah.
Based on what they bought it for just 18 months ago.
And actually, funny enough, 18 months ago, I thought that house was undervalued, but Phil didn't think it was undervalued. But we took it off another agent.
That's right. So we were fixed.
So we were
on the other
fixed,
agents.
and they were fixed. So actually, when they took an offer slightly below that, they thought that was a good offer. See, actually, I came back from that house and I said it was on 800, and I said it's too cheap. I put it up to 850, and Phil thought I was completely bonkers. But we did get 835 for it. Now that same house is on the market for 1 million, 18 months later. So I was right, really.
You were right.
Thank you. It's a
Phil's
very
not here,
nice
is
house. Phil's not here now. But you've only been here, well, I say
3
only,
years this
nearly
year.
3 years, And in that time, you've seen so much
Such a
rollercoaster in the
change.
market.
It's completely different. when we started. Even just, the processes of the market, so much now goes to best and final.
Yeah, VIP Buyers Club.
VIP Buyers Club.
Doesn't even go to market.
Doesn't go to market. A lot of
crazy.
Market. Yeah, it's been, it has changed so much in 18 months, so I agree, definitely. You've got to keep an open mind.
Yeah.
Get a fresh opinion, give us a call,
Yeah.
and get a fresh outlook on what potentially it is worth.
Yeah, could be a life-changing amount of money. Who knows? So I'll keep an open mind. Phil will keep an open mind, Ed will keep an open mind, and you keep an open mind. So if we can do that, then have a cup of tea and we will tell you what we think. Thanks very much for watching Ask AJ, and we'll see you next week.